dare you chant for somebody that's not here?
Monday Night Raw Hot Takes, where I take your thoughts, your opinions, your hot takes from the previous episode of Raw, SmackDown, and or PLEs. And this Saturday is Money in the Bank. We'll do hot takes for that too. Let's get started with We Want Truth. We want truth. We want truth. All right, so the crowd was chanting last night. How did it go? Raphael at air. Justice for our truth. That's what's up. Pearl Lee, 2-0. We want truth back. ASAP. Black 444 Miles. We want truth. Cry face emoji. Ron talks tabletop. Commentary unsurprisingly ignored any attempts of our truth support chants, which weren't a lot, but this was only day one after the news. We'll see if the sentiment grows. Jimbo Slice, on the other hand, has a counterpoint to that. He replied and said, honestly, today was the only hope. These things lose steam quick. Truth will be last week's news in a few days. The ship has sailed. And I hope you're wrong about that. I think both points are valid. Sometimes a movement needs time to grow, but in this TikTok, YouTube attention spanned era, yeah, things happen very quick. If you don't catch lightning in a bottle right away, a lot of times it won't happen. I definitely was hoping for more chants, but from what I hear, I'm hearing reports that WWE was muting the audience when they started chanting. That's when because the audience is mic'd, right? The audience is mic'd. So honestly, from what I hear, the chants were actually louder within the building, but not so much on TV. I did hear it like 3 or 4 times, but I didn't hear it to the point that I was actually hoping I would. So, fans, if you are going to Raw and SmackDown and Money in the Bank, let your voices be heard. And you see that clip in the beginning, they acknowledged it at the end. CM Punk acknowledged the chants at the end. Basically, the joke was, how dare you chant someone else's name? Well, that's what we did for CM Punk for 9 years. 9 years we chanted for CM Punk. Now, it did not get necessarily CM Punk back, but it did allow for fans to show a way to express their displeasure in the product. And it also, though, it did work for Daniel Bryan. The whole Yes movement was based on the fact that the fans would hijack a show with either CM Punk chants or We Want Daniel Bryan chants. So right now we're in a situation where our CM Punk is our truth. So chant for us, we want truth, but we also have a Daniel Bryan in Karrion Cross. So the fans need to chant. If you feel that our truth and Carlito were disrespected, that's the only way it's gonna happen. Because let's be real here. No matter how much we don't like that happened, we're still gonna watch. The majority of viewers are gonna still watch. And if you want to call me a hypocrite, that's fair, but I am going to keep watching the product. Now, though, I will say I am going to be encouraging the chants, because the chants are our best way to make change happen, to get them back somehow, some way. Will it happen? I don't know. Will TKO care? I know they will care about looking bad. That's the only way to hurt a corporation like TKO, either in their pocketbooks or making them look bad. And by taking over the shows with chants like that, that'll make them look bad. So we got to chant for our truth and Carlito. We got to chant for Karrion Cross so we can get him up the card and winning a title. Now, if you want to win a title, though, all you have to do is, well, you can chant below if you want, but comment below to win this title right here on my shoulder. It's the Winged Eagle. Caw-caw! And also subscribe to the channel, hit that bell notification, ding, ding, ding. And if you wouldn't mind, and a thumbs up. I would appreciate the thumbs up. The thumb would appreciate the thumbs up. I'd appreciate a thumbs up. Yeah, see, I told you. And so, yes, please. And then I'm trying to quit my day job, produce wrestling content full time, baby. And I would appreciate all the engagement. At 20,000 subscribers, I will pull a winner. One more for now on the crowd chants. Perry Paul, having the crowd chant for R-Truth is disrespect for the women, for me. And I think it's not professional from the fans doing that. If you want to say that, you say it in the beginning of the show. On the women's match, sometimes I hate the fans. I think this person, Prairie Paul, thought that it was like they were saving all their chants for only the women's match. Now, I did hear it multiple times throughout the show. And if they were trying, I feel the fans were trying to be purposely disrespectful to like anybody, they would actually do "this is boring" chants. But the fact that they didn't say "this is boring," I gotta think that this was more about R-Truth than it was about it was a commentary on the entertainment of matches. We have Brian Harrett say no such thing as designated chant times. They literally chanted for CM Punk for years during everybody's matches. You kind of have to randomly do it throughout the show in order for it to have impact. And then we also have family-friendly PG guy. I don't care how disrespectful it may seem. The fact that R-Truth was fired for basically no reason is even more disrespectful to a man who has worked almost 20 years making us smile week to week. Yeah, I agree there as well. I mean, sometimes we gotta put the human first. All right, so let's go to some other comments. But if I get more, then I will talk more about said subject. Najib, I really hope they have something for Cross due to him talking to AJ Styles and Sammy. You would think they would. However, look at AJ Styles and Karrion Cross. He was the one pushing the Logan Paul AJ Styles match the most at WrestleMania. You would have thought we would have got a backlash feud, at least, out of this with Cross and AJ when AJ didn't win and he allowed the YouTuber to win on the grandest stage of all. Karrion Cross should have been so mad at AJ that he attacked him afterwards, and yet we didn't get anything. So unfortunately, I don't know if we're going to get something out of this Sammy Karrion Cross, even though they've been talking for months, literally before the Royal Rumble. So not even months, like we're in June. Like we're at the 6-month mark of Karrion Cross in Sami Zayn's ear. So it's like, wow, oh my gosh. Fans, can we hijack the show on this one? We want Cross. I am, fingers crossed, that, no pun intended, we get a Sami Zayn versus Karrion Cross match at SummerSlam. It's 2 nights. It's 2 nights. Give them a match. Donatello Leonardo, the main event title scene is pretty much just kid service these days, and WWE has turned Seth's faction into a sauceless pizza. They paired 2 monster heels with a former world champion, and then they both get punked by 2 underdog baby faces 2 weeks in a row. They really just look like chumps now. Yeah, it's like on one hand, it's you have no shame in losing to Sammy and Jay, but those are 2 underdog champions or 2 underdog people, so they kind of have to get beat up throughout the entire match for them to get that surprise roll-up or something to that effect. And yeah, they were definitely, it was a little more even Steven than it should have been when they were facing the Brawns. Sauceless pizza. That's what Seth Rollins' group is. It's pizza, so it's still good, but, you know, if you don't have the sauce, it's like, it's not as good as it could be. Raphael Adair, Braun and Bronson should turn their attention to the tag team division and make it great again. They have potential to have bangers with any Raw tag team. On the surface, that's a great comment. The only reason why I would not like that is because A, it diminishes the New Day. I'm loving the New Day right now. I think they are great and amazing, and I would hate for them to lose the title. So, like, Like, I just, and if Bronson Reed and Braun Breaker enter that tag team division, they have to win. It's just like straight up, they have to win. And then what do the New Day do? I like all the teams chasing the New Day right now. The second thing about that is if the tag team's title goes into Seth's faction, my worry is that they'll never get defended. They'll be there in order to make Seth Rollins look good, and I want the tag team division to not be a prop of a main eventer just to look good. I want the tag team titles to mean something within the tag team ranks. Now, I will say, the Usos did it pretty well, though, with Roman Reigns, so it's not unheard of. It's not unheard of for the tag team belts to actually be defended very well within a tag team, but I don't know. It seems like Triple H forgot a lot of the things that made the Bloodline so successful. He forgot how that happened. And so, like, where's our vignettes? Why aren't we seeing vignettes of the Seth Rollins faction throughout the entire show? Why doesn't Seth Rollins faction even have a name yet? So I'm afraid that that Triple H forgot how the Usos were booked in the Bloodline, so that if the Brawns, if they got the tag team division, if they got the tag team titles, I'm afraid that it would just be lost and be more of a prop for Seth Rollins than an actual championship for tag teams. Number 2, they should have given Dirty Dom the triple threat, El Grande and AJ, for Money in the Bank. That would have been a really cool match and a good way to spotlight Dominic. I think this was more about the angle of keeping CM Punk out, though. But I would have liked it. I definitely would have liked that. I think we need to see more of Dominic Mysterio. The guy got one of the biggest pops of WrestleMania, and he's our Intercontinental Champion. Why aren't we pushing the guy? The Intercontinental Championship is supposed to be the workhorse title, but they have Dom trapped in Judgment Day drama. It's like, I don't mind the Judgment Day drama, but there have to be title defenses. Build on the momentum that is the ground support, the swell of support for Dirty Dom. Anthony Smurthwaite, the women's division on Raw is great right now. I really like the SmackDown division, a women's division, but Raw is starting to cook really, really, really well. I mean, they've got a lot of the right ingredients. Liv Morgan is amazing. Love or hate her, Rhea Ripley is a huge star. Stephanie Vakir now entering, that's a big deal. You got Becky Lynch and Lyra Valkyria actually way over here having their own feud. And that's actually a sign of a healthy division, that you can have multiple storylines going off. Didn't even talk about the champion, Io Sky, who has lost momentum, and we do need to try to build her up. Triple H is doing that thing where he doesn't book champions, and he's losing momentum. Where I need to see more of this. I'm not even the biggest Io fan, but I know I can tell her connection with the crowd. Get her in front of people wrestling. I don't understand what we're doing with Io. But that said, now that you mention it, you are right. The women's division isn't bad. It is not that bad on Raw. I kind of thought it was, and now I don't anymore. Brandon loves sports. We want truth. Yes, we do. Truth man. No Carlito equals no Clubhouse. Yeah, the Clubhouse. Someone not playing PlayStation 5 definitely felt empty, felt barren. I'm surprised. When Carlito joined the Judgment Day, I thought it was like, I don't know, I thought it was weird, but he did grow on me as a part of Judgment Day. I wish, it's so dumb that they're not going to give him a send-off. They got it, that is so dumb. How do you, that's just a drop storyline. He was so important to the backstage stuff. It's like, Judgment Day can go on without him, but you gotta give him some kind of send-off. I mean, even if it was Rhea Ripley beating the crap out of him, or Raquel kicking him out, or something, I don't know. Martin, the Cena ruining wrestling gimmick makes no sense at all. Why is Seth and his group, who want to decide the future of wrestling, not going over to SmackDown to take that title? Heyman literally said he could get Sami a title shot for it a month ago. Got Rollins a title shot at Jay, so why aren't they stopping the guy that's trying to ruin wrestling? You're right, actually. You are absolutely 100% right. I didn't key in on the fact that Paul could get these shots. He got Sammy a shot at John Cena. He got Seth a shot at Jay. Heck, he even got Paul CM Punk a main event at WrestleMania. So whether it makes sense or not that Paul Heyman has so much stroke, he does. And I get it. Seth is a bad guy, and so is John Cena. So they should not be fighting. But no. They have two direct opposite point of views, and Seth Rollins should be going after anybody who's against his agenda, face or heel. Now, they can easily solve this. All they got to do is they need Seth to just say, you know what, I want John Cena to take that belt and retire it, because I'm the first person to ever hold the world title, and the world title can be the title that matters. But you are absolutely right. Until they say something like that, then it makes no sense. It makes even less sense now, because John Cena has entered kind of sort of into the world title picture by saying he wants a YouTuber to hold the title. Therefore, Seth Rollins wants the title and John Cena wants someone else to have the title. So that even gives Seth Rollins a path to John Cena. Maybe Triple H isn't as good as I thought he was. Maybe he just came at the right moment when everything was set up for an amazing WrestleMania 40. That, your comment just put me on a path and just kind of rocked my world. I need to digest this a little more. Tis Mickey. Now I 100% have no doubt in my mind that LA Knight is winning Money in the Bank. Also, when Sammy inevitably turns on Jay, I'm going to cry worse than I did when Jay won the Rumble. I really do hope that LA Knight wins. I really do hope LA Knight wins, but I think Triple H is going to play it safe. I don't think Triple H likes the Money in the Bank. And I think there was even a report recently where he said it somehow, some way. And if he wants Seth Rollins to win the title, he might just burn the Money in the Bank to get him there. He's like, oh, I'm already going to make Seth Rollins the champion, so I can just take the Money in the Bank out of play and still do what I want. I really hope not, though. I really do hope LA Knight takes it, because LA Knight, that's what the Money in the Bank is for. It's to take an upper mid-card guy into the main event scene permanently, if they cash in successfully. Do I think LA Knight will cash in on John Cena successfully? Well, if they wanted to make a megastar, they would let that happen. But no, I don't. But that's fine. Just have him hold on the title until after December, when John Cena leaves, and then LA Knight can take it. I hope you're right about LA Knight. If not LA Knight, then Solo Sikoa. Solo Sikoa would be a great one to happen. But my fear, Seth Rollins, because that's what aligns with Triple H's how the storytelling he's doing. And I'm really confident that Sammy's not turning anytime soon. I think they keep playing with us that it's going to happen. I really do believe that Sami Zayn is going to win the Royal Rumble in 2026, because it's in Saudi Arabia. So he wins the Royal Rumble, and then he goes on to fight Seth Rollins at WrestleMania for the championship, because they keep bringing up the fact that he wants to be champion. So I think they give him that moment and that Royal Rumble victory. So maybe, who knows, what if it's Jay that then turns on Sammy for the title? John Cena sucks. All the good tag teams are on SmackDown or something, because I feel like we see the War Raiders on Raw too much. It's kind of, I don't feel that the War Raiders are that over, that it justifies them on TV and being the center point of this tag team division. It's like crazy. Now, I am happy that the New Day come out and do a lot of commentary, but I think it's time to move on from the War Raiders. Even if we have to transfer them to SmackDown, trade them. Trade them for Fraxium. Fraxium is going to get lost in that tag team division. Maybe the War Raiders would be better on SmackDown, because they don't have any big beefy men teams. So maybe that would help that division. And not that it needs it, but it might infuse a different element. Have New Day actually be the ones who brokered the deal. It blows up in their face. They get rid of their mortal enemies, the War Raiders, but they bring in the team that will eventually dethrone them. Not right away, but maybe, I don't know, maybe in like 6 months. Pearl E, one day, Rhea versus Vakir. Who will win? Hopefully it's heel versus face and not face versus face. I would say Triple H will probably book Rhea to win, honestly. I think Triple H would book Rhea to win. El Senor, sorry to be a mood killer, but this was an awful Raw. Everything was so repetitive and recycled garbage. I don't think it was awful, but I don't think it was great. It was not bad. It was a not bad Raw, but not bad doesn't equate to good. Sometimes not good, not bad, but it was a Raw. Jacob Dino fan, AJ Styles should have won the Money in the Bank. I mean, I could see it. I would have loved it, but who knows? Maybe he didn't want to. The dude's 48 years old as of yesterday, so maybe he's like, you know what? I'm retiring in 2 years. I don't need to put my body through Money in the Bank, because make no mistake about it, I'm not saying we need to fire the old guys, but Money in the Bank is a young man's matchup. Micah does it. Stephanie Vakir had one of the loudest reactions on Raw last night. If pushed correctly for a few years, she might be able to be a main event of WrestleMania in the future. Yeah, people love her, and I'm very happy that she actually got a video package explaining who she was. They should have did that with Phryxia. In fact, they should do it with every single superstar that ever came to the main roster. They should have did it with Carmelo Hayes. Let's see their personality before they actually are introduced to their brand. So Stephanie Vakir, I 100% agree. She definitely has a connection. There's something about her that the fans just are gravitating to. Chargers dude Ben, we need Booker T right now. Yes, we do. Stephanie Vakir is not, her moves just don't hit as hard without Booker T just being Booker T commentating. Like, we need a soundtrack, a Booker T soundtrack for certain superstars when they come to Raw. 2, Judgment Day need a theme that is good, something we can remember. Yes. Something that's not done by Def Rebel, because Def Rebel can only produce really good Bloodline theme songs. 3, Grande Americano is not the right choice between the 3, in my opinion. I'm okay with it. I do like Grande Americano. I think, again, you got AJ Styles and CM Punk. They're kind of on the older side of things. They might not have wanted to put their bodies through the Money in the Bank. They've already had that main event. They've already been in the main event. Grande Americano, while yes, he is old too, wrestled back, long time ago before his enemies blacklisted him. And now he's his triumphant return. But the thing is, he's never been in the main event scene. So I understand why someone would sacrifice his body in order to get for a chance at the briefcase. And then Sammy and Karrion need a match, and just hear me out. Sammy listens, turns on Jay and Punk, and they create a faction of some sort and play the devil on your shoulder role. I wouldn't mind. But I don't think Sammy is gonna, but I do want a match. And then finally, this isn't a hot take, but truth chants were loud, and shout out for Dom for wearing that shirt. Final thing, did you hear about the Slim Jim tables? I did. So if you haven't heard, they have sold, the tables you pull from the ring that, you put someone on and it breaks? Well, apparently they're going to have the logo Slim Jim on it. So just when you didn't think that TKO could sell even more of their soul, Donatello Leonardo, who would win in a match? A yeet off or a Triple H Hall of Fame package? I mean, why do we have to choose? What if Jey Uso started yeeting, and then we got a Hall of Fame package, and then when the Hall of Fame package was done, we could get an encore? Jimbo Slice, Seth's faction needs more depth within the group. The magic behind the Bloodline was the inner storytelling within the group. It was never the opponents they were up against. Same goes for Judgment Day. Seth's faction needs more storytelling within the group if they want me to care. Right now, it feels like 3 guys and a manager trying to be bad guys. Honestly, me and OTW, it's OTW, we agree with you. You hit the nail on the head with this take. Why has the Judgment Day lasted so long? Because they have storylines around the group. The Bloodline had storylines around the group itself, and it wasn't just about who they were facing. It wasn't about who they were going to beat up this week. So yes, that's a part of it, but yes, look at the Judgment Day. They barely ever have any real feuds that they even win, and yet they're still a prominent feature and have so much personality, and the Bloodline just dominated for 4 years, but we had threads throughout shows, and we kept coming back to them and just getting to know them as characters, so it's like, what are we doing? We still don't even know fully everything about the reasoning of Bronson Reed and Braun Breaker even joining Seth Rollins. Now, we assume a lot of things, and Paul Heyman has said some things, but like, come on, let's get to know these. Let's see them interact with each other backstage. Vignettes, threads throughout the show. Tracy Woods, my take, it was hot from beginning to end. 0 yawns for me. Tracy loved the show. I'm very happy. Let's see, I bet there's 2 replies, and people, like, someone underneath says the show was boring. Why do we got to do that? Like, if somebody likes the show, let them like the show. Like, it does not affect me one way or another if Tracy Woods loved the show or not. I'm glad. I wish I was the only person that did not think that this show was amazing. I wish I was the only person that was like, yeah, that show was just whatever. I want you all to love the show. I want to love the show. So it's like, if somebody likes the show, let them like the show. If someone doesn't like the show, let them not like the show. Tracy also loved the audience. We want truth chants. Yes, thank you, audience, for that. Damian King, I see the vision. Gable wins the AAA Mega Championship. Americano wins the Money in the Bank. Americano cashes in on Gable. Absolute cinema. That is good storytelling, because Chad Gable's the guy who brought in Americano. So for Americano then to cash in on Gable, that would be like, Gable brought in his own destruction. Cinema. Shazam is on. Bronson Reed and Braun Breaker's tag team debut should have been more impressive. Losing by DQ after Seth interfered makes them look weak. You're not right. You're not wrong. I didn't even think of that, honestly. Didn't even think of it. Bronson Reed and Braun Breaker, they need to be a destructive force, and for them to just lose by DQ, it was kind of like when Jey Uso, his title reign should be stronger, and his first defense was winning by DQ. Like, what's up with all these DQ finishes? It's like really harking back to the NWO days when just, we don't know we got to book great matches, but we don't know how to end them, so just DQ finish everything. Roman Reigns, shake my head, so no Raquel Carlito love story? Yeah, drop storyline right there. Like, they should have had some kind of, they should have had Raquel be the guy that got rid of Carlito or something. Like, I don't understand why we didn't write these characters off TV. Zorro, Stephanie can't speak English? That is so disappointing. She should work on that to be a top star. Actually, she is. I heard that Stephanie Fakir is actually actively learning English. She does speak English, though. She does. She might speak at the level that Penta does, and she's just more comfortable and kind of goes in and out of Spanish, but that said, she is actually learning. That was one of the reasons why she actually went to NXT first, to give her actually a little more time before hitting the main roster. She just wants to prepare herself, both from learning the WWE style and actually learning English. Aaron X Duh. Rhea was wearing an R-Truth shirt before Raw, but in this segment, they had her take it off. Yeah, I heard she was, and that sucks. I wish they would have let it. I understand from a business point of view why they had her take it off, and I actually even understand from Rhea's perspective why she did. I'm sure it would have been awesome if they had allowed her to wear it, or if she just did, but at the end of the day, it's her job. I don't fault her for wanting to keep food on the table. But that said, much respect for Dom for getting the Carlito shirt on. The Beast Baseball. I love that name. Chop. Stephanie Fakir's Devil Kiss move is not complete without King Booker T. King Booker? You're right. You are right. Devil's Kiss, that was the name. I was trying to remember the name last night on my one chop, one review. One take, one shot review. Devil's Kiss. You are so right. You are so right. And honestly, when Trick Williams comes out on the main roster, it's not going to be the same without Booker T going, yeah. If we're going to call up Stephanie or Trick, You gotta call up Booker. And also he asks, also please explain why people love Karrion Cross. I don't understand. You know what? This video is already way too long. If you remind me on the next hot take video, I will try to do a Karrion Cross video explaining why people like him. All right, but you got to remind me. Sometimes I say I'm gonna do a video and I have all the intentions of doing the video, but then I forget. Frankie Baklava, haven't seen him in How You Been. TKO has sucked the soul out of what was a long-winded passion project. These shows feel so lifeless to me now since after WrestleMania. The ideas are there, but the execution has no light, if that makes sense. Makes perfect sense. Makes perfect sense. They are like, we can see through it. They're extending their shows so they get more advertisers, but the show doesn't warrant it. The show doesn't warrant it. They're watering down the product in order to make more money. They're firing or not rehiring the soul of the company, the humor, the things that the diversity. Not rehiring R-Truth and Carlito, your comedy relief of the product. It's just like, I don't know. They have it. They have all the pieces. It's just, I don't know. Is Triple H's hands tied? Is he just not up to the task? Is he doing too much? I know Triple H loves the business. What's going on here? I get it. And I know what's happening. I've seen it happen before when a giant corporation comes in and they take over something that is working really well. Somehow, some way, the corporate fat cats, they ruin it. They ruin it in their never-ending quest for a bigger Christmas bonus. And it sucks. It sucks. Maybe I should start a GoFundMe. I need $20 billion so I can buy back WWE. I think it's going to get worse before it gets better. If the fans don't start speaking up, then it's just going to get worse. And if they don't speak up for R-Truth, then it's going to be a long time before we get another person that we can really rally behind. I hope that we can make our voices heard, because if we don't, then we're going to get worse than the Slim Jim logo on the tables, and be prepared for a lot more Netflix comedians showcasing, taking over backstage segments while Karrion Cross is in catering. Sorry to leave you with such doom and gloom, but those are your hot takes for Monday Night Raw. I appreciate every single one of you. I'm not going to hate watch the product, but I am going to be watching WWE very cautiously over the next few months. Boys, girls, have yourselves a great day.